welcome back to KRATOM Kingdom, or KRATOM with Chris. This is Chris Irving, your host in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I am back. Anyway, today I wanted to talk to you guys about how to get the most out of your KRATOM, because we're all very proficient in drinking KRATOM or taking KRATOM. Now we need to know the in-depth technical stuff about how to get the best out of it. Honestly, the best way that I do it is I have a mortar and pestle. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. A little bowl with a little crushing thing in it. And I put 5 grams of KRATOM in that. And I take like 10 milligrams of turmeric and mix it in there. And then I add lemon and lime juice in there, so that it mixes with all of the KRATOM, and then I pestle it up and mix it all up in there, and then I take that, scoop it out with my spoon, put it in my cup, pour hot water over it, and pooh! It tastes terrible, of course, but I don't know, the lemon and the lime kind of keep me coming back for more. It's actually refreshing for me, and I have my KRATOM first thing in the morning when I wake up, before I have my coffee, before I have anything, before I read the news or look at my bank account. I have a cup of KRATOM because it calms me down, it chills me out, makes me feel better, and feeling better is what it's all about. I'm literally running around my apartment working on it, and I'm not hurting. My knees don't hurt, my back doesn't hurt, my nerve endings don't hurt. It's just, I feel like Chris. I feel like Chris pre-stroke, 2003. I just wish I could move my left arm, but that's coming up soon with Elon Musk. I hope so anyway, because he's my only hope to put the Neuralink project back into effect and put it in my brain and jumpstart over the lesions so that I can move my arm again. Because having one arm is hard to live with. And then when you have this piece of dead meat on the other side that doesn't do anything, it just hangs there, it gets heavy. So, and I've got enough heavy stuff in my life. Like, I was trying to make my bed yesterday and trying to put my fitted sheet on. Have you ever tried to put a fitted sheet on with one hand and no balance by yourself? It's virtually, it was virtually impossible. I couldn't stretch the sheets long enough to make the pockets go into the corners. Put one corner in, pop it from the other side, and it goes away. Sucks making beds, but I gotta do it every single day, and I do it every single day. Now, my mom is a case of someone who was babied too much. Not babied, but was taken care of too much after her stroke. She has lost 99% of her independence. She can't drive anymore. She's having a hard time budgeting money. She's having a hard time keeping her house maintained. So we all go over there whenever we can and chip in. But I love my mom dearly, and she does a lot for me, so even in her condition, so I can't dog her. But it's just scary for me to think what it would be like if no one pushed me to make those phone calls, call the insurance company, call the doctor's office. I was terrified to be on the phone. I was terrified of any kind of social interaction at all. Back to KRATOM. Another way to stay lifted with KRATOM is to switch your strain. Like, I'm having a red strain right now, so the next strain I have is probably going to be a green, and then the strain after that will probably be a white, because that's all I've got. Red, green, and white. And I'm waiting until January 3rd when I can afford to get my order from Uju for $175, because he's got a special order for me because he knows my favorites, and he's gonna put them all in a packet labeled really well so I know where they go, what jar they go in. And he said he's got some super red that will knock my socks off, which I love hearing that because I love having my socks knocked off. I mean, if you're afraid of taking kratom, don't be. It's very benign. And if you don't want to get high from it, just don't drink a lot of it. Um, it takes a lot of it to get you high. It takes a little bit of it to give you a little coffee stimulation. And it takes just a little bit of it to get rid of all of your pain. I mean, within 1 or 2 sips and my pain is gone. I'm allergic to chocolate, and because of that I get horrible migraines if I have a piece of chocolate. So the other night it's Christmas time, whatever. I want some chocolate. So I ate a piece of chocolate. I'm like, well, I've got kratom, so I can fight off any migraine I was gonna have with it. And sure enough, the next morning I woke up all stiff and like, 2 cups of kratoms later, my migraine was gone. My neck was released and loose, and I felt good. Another really key ingredient in my kratom is I'm prescribed an anxiety medication called Klonopin, and it is one of the few things that calms me down and makes my brain stop worrying so much. So when I drink kratom with my Klonopin, it's like super Klonopin. I mean, it's like taking 4 Klonopins. It just gives me energy, it gives me bravery, it gives me hope. But I'm not recommended you go out and get black market kratom because you never know what, or Klonopin, because you never know what you're getting. It could be that fentanyl bullshit. And I don't fuck with drugs that much. I went through a very short phase in my life where I tinkered with methamphetamine, heroin, coke, and all these other things, and I tried each one of them once, and I was like, it does nothing for me but scare me because it thinks the cops are gonna knock down the door and send me to prison. If I go to prison for a felony, I lose my disability forever, which means my life is over. I have to live in assisted living facilities where they maintain my money, and if they give me any money at all, or it might mean I'm homeless. And Kratom Kingdom can't be homeless. He's disabled and crippled, and he needs to finer things in life. But I had a bedbug problem, y'all. And in this bedbug problem, my couch was infested, and I don't know how or why. It was in a shed for a long time, so I suspect it came from the shed. And I'm not even 100% sure they're bedbugs. I just know that they were on my legs and they were biting the shit out of me and full of blood. So everything I've researched said that's a bed bug. So I called an exterminator in twice, because the first time he did a decent job, but he didn't do my couch very well. So then he came back a second time, and he focused mostly on my couch, and my couch has dead bed bugs all over it, which is a sight to see, because I know they're dying. And he said they will keep dying over time, because that poison doesn't just disappear. And some of them just have stronger immune systems than others, but none of them are going to survive the amount of toxic extermination pesticide that I put all over your couch. I wouldn't recommend sleeping on your couch for a while. I have a bed, why would I sleep on a couch? I don't know, y'all, but again, I digress from kratom. I was hanging out with these 3 guys, and I didn't know to the extent of their drug use, and I met this guy in the parking lot, and I'm very lonely because I had no friends. And he was this small little black guy, and he's like, "Hey man, how are you doing?" I'm like, "Good, how are you doing?" And he's like, well, "I kind of need a ride home." I was like, "I can do that." Dumb. So he gets in my passenger seat, and he's like, "Why don't you let me drive?" I was like, "No." And so I drive him home, drop him off, and then he was gonna go to the door, get some cash from his dad for gas money for me driving him home. And of course his dad's not home and there's nobody in the house, and he's like, oh, sorry, I'll have to get you later. I was like, that means you'll be seeing me later. That means we'll be like friends. It's like, yeah, man, we'll be friends. And it turned out that he took me to crack house, to meth house, to cocaine house. I mean, it got me high on everything, trying to make me be his bitch. Thinking I was gonna, because I just got paid, so I had a lot of money. Not a lot, but I had $1,000. And that grand went away within a week. And then he had me borrowing money. I mean, it was like I was his hoe or something. And he was using me like I was his girlfriend or something. He was using me for all my money. I suspect that's what he does, is goes around, meets people, befriends them, and then gets them hooked and addicted on meth, so that way he can control them and say. And I did start letting him drive my car because I hate driving. I'm a terrible driver. And he had meth in his pocket, and we got pulled over, and I was like, fuck, we're dead. They just wanted a license and registration check, and my car came back clean, of course, because it is clean. And wow, I'm starting to doze. I need more coffee. I need coffee, period. So long story short, he turned out to be a real scumbag, lowlife. Gonna be homeless, gonna be in prison soon because he's too reckless. He drove me to one of his booty calls house and made me sit in my car for 5 hours while he did his thing to this guy. So I walk in the house and I see Gary on top of this guy Matt, just boom, boom, going to town, and I'm like, ah. It's hard enough for me to watch two hetero people having sex, and to have two homosexuals having sex. And it was sad because the bottom wasn't homosexual at all. He was just doing it for the meth. Well, I learned my lesson. I'm not playing like that. I will never play like that. I don't dig meth. I don't get anything from it. I don't get anything from cocaine. My brain is fucked up enough to where it doesn't need any of that stuff. Alright, y'all. Well, I taught you how to get the most out of your kratom, I hope. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. Please like and subscribe. I have another 600 subscribers to go before I meet my other channel. So I love you all. Peace out.